What's happening, sports fans? We welcome you back to another week of the San Diego Prep Insider Baseball podcast here at the Canyonside Cages with Coach David Ring, where you can no longer see the classic scoreboard behind us. It's a little sad, but you can now get all the modern amenities of hitting instruction, pitchers too.
And you can lift some weights.
And you can exercise now with Uprush Athletics, but you can also, look, we're going to talk about the dingers, but we got to address something. Yeah, we like our King of K's. We are here to talk about the winner of the King of K's. That'll be coming up in just a few minutes. And we now have these shirts, which is what the winner of the King of K's will be receiving in the mail every week. So be sure to nominate your friends or yourself, send in your strikeout videos, so then you can vote, because this is what you get. You get a shirt that officially recognizes your legitimacy in the art of throwing chairs.
Sweet,
look, got him. We'll have some dinger shirts made up as soon as you guys start sending in home. No, it's not hitting them. It's not hitting them. They're flying this year. As we'll come up with Dave's dingers in just a second, but I just got to send them in. Just got to let us know what's up. So first off, the people usually come here looking for some top 10. If you want the San Diego Prep Insider one, you can go to our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of our social media. You can come here, though, for Coach Dave Ring's top 10 poll. You want to go 10-1, hit him with what you got this week?
I'm excited. This is my favorite top 10 of the year. I'm really going to shake it up.
Week, your new favorite top 10 of the year?
No, the first weeks were so hard. This
You feel
week,
like you're settling in a little bit more confidence.
this week, I feel like this is probably the best top 10 in the county. I know there's a lot of people that put them out, but I feel like this is, I did a ton of research, put teams right where I thought they should be. Number 10, Saints, 8-3. 9, Granite Hills, they're 6-4, have a really tough schedule, so they're still in my top 10. Bonita Vista is going to sneak in at number 8 now. They lost 1-0 to East, or 2-1 to Eastlake. They're playing really good ball right now.
Mollywop Christian. Right?
Mollywop Christian, yep. Grossmont, 7-4. They're going to be my number 7 hole. 6 is Torrey Pines. They're 5-3-1. Very good team, playing a lot of tough teams. LCC, I'm going to bump them down to 5. They just lost their star player for the season. They're 7-2. SFC, 9-1. I'm going to put them at number 4 this week. They weren't even in my top 10 this week, so this is a humongous jump. They beat LCC,
Big win.
beat San Marcos on a walk-off. We'll talk about that in a sec. RB, number 3.
Okay.
They're playing good. 5-2-1. Poway, I got them at number 2, 7-2, and Eastlake is 8-1.
Right. Eastlake holds the number 1.
Strong team.
Just so beautiful that year to year, week to week, there seems to be about 20 or 30 teams that could jump into that top 10 on a moment's notice. I mean, Santa Fe Christian, wow, all the way from off the board to number 4 with their big win over 2 big wins, actually, as you said this week. So a lot of action and excitement there. You got to go onto social media. Let us know, though, who you think is deserving of some of those spots, because we by no means are done with any sort of drama this season. Tommy, who will be receiving this week's I Throw Chairs? Well, no, all our previous 2 winners, we will hit you up and we'll get you guys all squared away with shirts. But who will be winning this week's I Throw Chairs shirt as the King of K's?
It's going to be Joseph Esparza from Sweetwater. If you check him out here on our Instagram at SD Prep Insider. 715 votes. Pretty good.
Congratulations, Joseph Esparza from Sweetwater, and thank you very much to everybody that voted this week. Remember, if you want to be part of the King of K's, submit your strikeout videos. This can also go to the Queen of K's. We want softball as well. We want look, we like got heems. We like chairs being thrown. It doesn't matter who, where, or how. Get it done. Send it in.
Great pitch in softball is the riser. Can't throw that in baseball.
The riser.
Riser.
But that'll do it for a second. We got to bounce it back to the hitting, the home runs, the dingers. Do you have walk-offs this week?
I do.
Okay,
sure.
So let's go walk-offs. Then let's remind the people that they need to help us send in their home runs, and then let's go dingers.
Okay, walk-offs. Another exciting week. I mean, the plan is to do this every week, so keep.
When you first said to me, "Oh, I want to do a walk-off segment," I'm like, "Okay, great." score that one under Feudal Ideas. There's no way we're going to have enough content for that. And yet here we are 3 weeks later with multiple walkouts every single week.
Every week. All right, this was a fun game. Santa Fe Christian walked off against San Marcos on a single by Colin Denny. This was, I mean, I watched the highlight of this. Everyone in the crowd was going insane. Exciting game. Big win for Santa Fe. That was basically what bumped them up for me and then put them in the top 10. And probably one of the biggest comebacks of the year. Mira Mesa beat Sarah in a wild 11-10 game on a Gabe Jones walk-off hit. This guy is absolutely on fire, hitting about 500. One of their Mira Mesa hitters had 2 home runs in the game, which I'll talk about when we do dingers. I mean, this game was insane. First league win for Mira Mesa. They're on a roll.
Yeah, they won the GMC tournament bracket that they were in. Now
that's 6 in a row. I'm not exactly sure. 6 or 7 in a row. Something like that.
That's usually, you cover the mouth and you say it so that if somebody's watching this like 2 weeks later, you know.
I remember seeing a picture of them holding up a bunch of fingers and I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so then that transitions into dingers, which again, we'll remind the folks we want to support these the same way we do with strikeouts. We understand that it's not it's harder to know when someone's going to go yard, but look, we'll accept them week, 2 weeks, whenever later. Just send us. Or tell us, hey, come out and watch because, you know, if you're willing to call your shot, I will drive there and cover the game. But get us your dingers, get us your home runs. We'll even maybe accept doubles if they're hit in the same game as a home run, and we'll be like, oh, look at that swing. Just look, we want to support the offense the same way we support pitching. So that's why we have this segment called Dave's Dingers, dedicated to nothing but the long ball. Dave, who are we highlighting this week?
Got a few extra guys tonight. The leader, Fallbrook's either Jose or Josue Navarro at Fallbrook. He's got 4 home runs. This guy's mashing right now. Marcelo Mayer hit a home run off Bonita Vista in their 2-1 win. Brandon Glowacki, Santana hit a home run off Granite Hills. Santana's playing really well. Ben Hart is pitching lights out for them. He's a Dixie State commit, really showing up every day. DJ Cardinal and Brian Alunario for Del Norte both went yaya against Mission Hills, 14-5 win, a couple touchdowns there. And Jordan Thompson, like I mentioned, for Mira Mesa, 2 home runs against Sarah. This guy's got 3 now. And also really lights out at the plate for Mira Mesa, who I think is batting about 341 at a team right now, so pretty impressive. Mac Bingham, 2 home runs against Ramona.
Never heard of him.
Smack attack.
USC commit, and DiMaggio Cazares, first home run of the year against Coronado in a 9-0 victory. That is what kind of pushed them past Coronado for me. That they really whooped on them that game. So Bonita Vista, strong team, man. I'm excited to see what they do the rest of the year.
Tommy,
I love it when we have a lot of home runs because then David's come up with a whole bunch of synonyms for home runs so that he doesn't reuse them throughout the whole list. That's my favorite part of that segment, actually.
we'll put a running tab on the counters on some of that.
The dog liked it.
You okay back there? You coming up with a new one? Tommy, you got some game balls, some players you want to shout out?
Real quick, I want to shout out Classical Academy, big win against Country Day. They're a team that nobody talked about at the beginning of the year. I think they have a chance. I'm just saying they have a chance to sneak in the top 10. They have a tough schedule, so they're going to have opportunities against tough teams being in that league. Yep. They're going to get to face Country Day again, Santa Fe Christian again, Bishops is pretty good. So they're going to have an opportunity, so watch out for them. And then also Granite Hills, I know you didn't mention them in your top 10, but they're a team that probably in the top 10 at some point during the season. Yeah,
Classical Academy, kind of a weird roller coaster last 2 weeks. They get no hit against by San Pasquale and Jansen Lublin, but then they go on an absolute tear, beating La Jolla Country Day, beating San Diego. A couple of huge wins. Really interesting to see, like you said, how quickly league play and strength of schedule up in the North County can change things. You have teams like San Pasquale starting to get some top 10 votes after, you know, a year and a half ago really being kind of out of nowhere to come into the playoff hunt. So fortunes can definitely change quickly in the North County. Well, they can really change quickly anywhere. Want to give out a couple of other game balls. We'll start out in the East County. Glad you mentioned how much you like Granite Hills because I got to give some love to Santana for an 8-4 win over Granite Hills. Santana, a team that kind of perennially has the group of dudes, not the one star who everybody knows, but they make it up in the aggregate and they just don't go away quietly. The big win for them. Mount Miguel 5-3 over Valhalla. Valhalla has hit really, really well this season, so big shout out to Mount Miguel's pitching staff there.
Thinking
Yeah,
about
Valhalla's
creeping-
knocking
they're
on the
thinking
door,
about
yep.
creeping in the top 10.
San man, I would love to put things on the poll right now. Is Valhalla? Oh, yeah, is Valhalla? Go listen to the radio show also. But is Valhalla always thinking about being on their way to the top 10? San Marcos put up some huge numbers on offense against Ramona. That was a solid bounce back win after getting beat by SFC. San Marcos needs to get it done with the long ball as much as they can this season. Santa Fe Christian, got to give them huge props, as you mentioned. Another big win for them was La Costa Canyon, a 3-2 win, including SFC pitched out of a couple bases loaded jams. Like they tried every possible way, and they still found a way to win. Sage Creek's Stephen Klinsky shut out CG over Torrey Pines to lift Sage Creek to a 1-0 win over Torrey Pines.
It'd be really awesome if they're on some sort of radio show or podcast later.
Yeah, they timed that one perfectly. They'll be on the show on Thursday or tonight. But guys, this kind of reminds me of Michael Mercado's Westview.
Yes.
And when Stephen Klinsky is on the mound, Sage Creek is the best team on that field at any given time. So if they get the right matchups as they go through playoffs, this is a very, very tough team to beat.
Anytime you goose egg Torrey Pines, you got to be doing something right.
And my last shout out goes Patrick Henry, 5-3 over Cathedral Catholic earlier this week. Patrick Henry, like, not at all a team worth discounting or sleeping or counting out. They seem like they, on their best day, can play some really, really good baseball.
And I'll say this too. I mean, I know Cathedral's not what they were last year, this year, but anytime a school like that beats a Cathedral, that's a big win for the program. That's
100%.
proving you can play with anybody, pretty much.
Absolutely. All right, so let's close this show out, guys, with looking ahead at the week. I'll pick 4 games. You guys got to tell me who you think it's a bigger game for. Coming up later this week, we have Canyon Crest traveling to San Marcos. Dave, who is this a bigger game for?
Wow. San Marcos is floating right now. They're about 500. They need to go on a win streak to really cement, I think, a spot in the playoffs where they can show what they can do. You know, it's a big week for San Marcos. They need to win a bunch of games.
Tommy, Canyon Crest, San Marcos.
I'm going to go with Canyon Crest here. Canyon Crest is at 4-6 right now. They're a team that, skill-wise, probably just as good as any of the teams in the top 10, but they just need to stack up the wins in order to get there. So I think if Canyon Crest can win this game, get closer to 500, they got a shot to, again, turn some heads towards the end of this year because they also play in a tough league. So they're going to be swamped with games where they can surprise people. So I think Canyon Crest.
Our next game, Torrey Pines is traveling to La Costa Canyon later this week. Tommy, who do you see this one as a bigger game for?
Got to be LCC. I mean, you mentioned Jones out for the year potentially with that elbow surgery. So they got to prove they can do it without him. So I'm going to say LCC.
So I got them back to back. So LCC is 5 and Torrey Pines is 6. I think if Torrey Pines loses another game, they're going to slide down just because of their record for me. So this is a humongous game for Torrey Pines' record. LCC is 7-2 right now. They can afford to lose a few here and there as far as their record goes. They're still going to be in the top 10 with strength of schedule and as many wins as they've had.
Let's go all the way up north to Vista as they travel to take on Oceanside. I think that this one, we talk about so many of these teams in their hard leagues. These are a pair of teams that desperately need to make it up in the aggregate and win those must-win games in league because they have to play such tough schedules. So Vista traveling to Oceanside. Dave, who do you see this one as a bigger game for?
Vista's always been really in my top 10s in the past years. Corey Lee. Oside has one of the best hitters in all of San Diego right now. And I think Vista has got to win to stay in the top of their league, and especially to stay in the talks like they've been in the last couple of years. They are a really strong baseball school.
I'll say Oceanside just because, kind of like you said, Vista's kind of had the better of them in this North County rivalry, whatever you want to call it. So bigger game for Oceanside.
Final game this week we'll talk about previewing is the first edition of the Holy War that will be played.
Holy War on the Diamond.
The Holy War on the Diamond. Cathedral Catholic will travel to play at Saints. I know that this one is big if these teams were both winless, if these teams were both undefeated, and everywhere in between. So that already being said, can you figure out which of these teams it might be bigger for?
Saints top 10 team right now just lost to Scripps Ranch, their first league game.
Very good team.
Their record doesn't show how well they played Scripps Ranch. But, I mean, they played a ton of good teams tough. Grossmont, they played Saints tough. But Saints, I mean, this is a humongous game for Saints because they're 8-3 right now. They've got to show that they could actually win this league. I mean, I think this is their league to win, and they've got to start winning some games to do that.
Yeah, I'll go the other way around. For whatever reason, Cathedral just has not been able to pick up W's this year. It's rivalry games, so there's going to be a little extra, whatever you want to call it. So throw out the records, as they say. But they really, really need to get on the winning path because they're kind of drowning right now. So I think it's a bigger game for Cathedral.
And there you have it, a 4-pack of games looking forward to this week. If you need to find any other games, any other information, where can they find you guys on social media?
At David Ring 4 and Canyonside_cages on Instagram.
At Real Tommy Morris, but if you want more San Diego content, at SD Prep Insider, because that is the place to go.
And this is the place to go once a week. Come in every day, every week, every night, every morning, whenever you want to come for hitting. Come to Canyonside Cages. Come check out the operation there. As you heard and have noticed, the scoreboard is gone. We have new chairs. Things have been upgraded here. Things have been. I mean, other than the fact that there's still buses driving around in the middle of the podcast, things have been made infinitely nicer here. So come bring your team. You might get the mascot to hang out with you a little bit. Thank you guys very much. Remember, send in your home runs. Send in your strikeouts.
We need home runs, guys.
Yeah.
We want shirts for home runs also.
Exactly. So that's where we're headed. That's what we'll make it done. We'll talk to you soon, sports fans.